I'm absolutely honoured and delighted to be with you all this evening, and I really and truly am honoured because I know what a fantastic group IWES is, and you're a fantastic support to each other. And it's been a great help to me, and I've made some wonderful friends as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all in person. But until we do, this is what we have. Now, I'm going to share my screen. So let me see. Ta-da! Yeah, here we go. Let's go to it from the beginning. Okay, all right. Can you all see that? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna just put you up here. I'm gonna put you over there for a minute. Okay, well, the topic I chose, Cardella gave me a loose rein of what to actually discuss. And I thought, well, it's a new year for all of us. It's 2022. Last year was a tough year for many of us, as was 21. And I actually think 2022 was a harder year for us than 2020, because I think 2020 we were dealing with COVID itself and the emotional sort of side, the medical side, the health side, etc. Last year we saw sort of snippets of growth, and it was like stop, start, stop, start. Some of us thought by April, May, June, things would get going again. Others thought it would happen September, October. For some of us it did, for some of us it didn't. And it just seemed to be stop, start, stop, says stop, start. So I'm really hoping that 2022 is going to be very, very different for us all. And so what I chose to speak about, because I know that most of the members of IWES are SMEs, so they're micro businesses. And so I didn't want to do something that was really aimed at the corporate world or large companies. So I've taken it down to a level for SMEs and business owners, one-man band, one-woman band kind of owners who can obviously relate to it. I'd like just to see in the chat box, because I'm going to talk about the principles of marketing. Now, this isn't going to be talking about all the platforms of marketing. I want to talk about this strategic side. And I'd like to see in the chat box, and I'm going to leave it to Ashley there to let me know how many people have actually ever put together a marketing strategy for their business. Just say yes in the chat box. And Ashley, if you can sort of let me know just how many people are coming in. So how many people? Just say yes in the chat box. Anybody? Okay, trying to, yes. Okay, so we really haven't got many who've ever done it. And yes, but not for this. Okay, Jay, all right. I know you're a seasoned businessman. Nada, yes. Okay, all right. So we've got some yeses, some are trying to. Okay, some have. Rowena, yeah, okay. Kazumoto, Komotso, yes, okay. All right.
We got four yes, and one trying, and yes, but
okay.
Not.
Okay, all right. I'm going to close my chat. Now the next question I have: who has ever put a marketing plan together? Now, not a strategy, but who's ever put just a simple marketing plan together? Even on the back of a notebook, whatever. Has any of you ever actually put that together at all? In the chat, just say MKP, yes or no.
Yeah, there is one I tried from Cardella.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Let's get going then with this. Now. Okay, I've got to do it this way. I thought I could do it with a little clipper. Okay, I'm going to talk briefly about the definition of strategic marketing, why we should have one, a strategic marketing planning overview, developing a generic competitive strategy, developing marketing goals and objectives, and I'm going to try and get through all of this. If I don't worry, we can always do another one, because I realize we only have a certain amount of time and there's an awful lot of stuff stuff here. All right. Basically, a definition of marketing. There really isn't one. There's hundreds of them out there, but this is one that I actually took off the internet. It's not mine, okay? So I'll read the top paragraph, or I won't read the top paragraph. I'll let you guys read it yourself. But basically, the second paragraph is mine. Marketing strategy focuses on long-term objectives and involves planning marketing programs so that they help a company realize its goals. Companies rely on marketing strategies for established product lines or service as well as for new products and services. So basically, in a nutshell, the best time to do a strategic marketing plan is if you're setting up a new business. You certainly have to do one without a shadow of a doubt, because you would also be doing market research and feasibility study. If you're bringing out a new product, or if you're starting up a new division, or if you're considering starting a business in a completely and utterly different line, and maybe you might even want to set up a business with somebody else, so there's going to be affiliate marketing or something. But this is a time when you really do need to look at it. Why have one? Well, I think it's really knowing about your audience. That's basically what it's about. You need to see the whole picture. And there are 4 P's that we talk about, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. In the big picture, we look at your product, we look at your price, we look at the place and your promotions. And I will go over them again. And this is when you look at these long term. So this is not just about what's going to happen in the next 6 months or the next month. This is what's going to happen possibly over the next year and maybe 2 years. You don't often go too far into the future as an SME, because you need to sort of be able to make changes as and when you have to. Now, there's no point in spending money on old marketing channels if you haven't actually put some kind of a strategy together, because you need to have a good idea what your return on the investment is going to be. And at the end of the day, it's also about knowing your audience, addressing your audience. A marketing strategy helps you to identify who are the people I need to sell to, who are the people that I need to reach, who is the audience that is going to buy from me, and where are they hanging out? Where do they go? I've got to go to the same place as them. So I put in McDonald's there because I don't know if anyone has ever heard of the Big Mac Index. It's when a number of larger companies would use a Big Mac Index. And basically what that means is that they see how much does a Big Mac cost in various parts of the world. So let's say they're doing business in Dubai, but maybe say they may want to set up a business in a different continent. They may be looking at Africa. They may be looking at different countries within the continent of Africa. They may be looking at other countries within the Middle East region here. They may be looking at Egypt. We have a fair idea how much it's going to cost when it comes to Saudi, Oman, Bahrain, and UAE. But what about Jordan? What about Egypt? What about some of the other areas, Lebanon? If maybe you're looking, say, to set up your business or transfer part of your business and sell your products and services overseas, you need to have a fair idea about how much things cost, how a price is based, what are the people like there, what's the disposable income, and the product, the quality and service will stay the same as far as the Mac is concerned, the Big Mac is concerned, but the audience's preferences as to how they want to eat it. We've all noticed here, Big Mac, McDonald's and many of the other chains, fast food burger chains, have now introduced healthy eating because people are now looking at basically being more health conscious. And so as a result, a lot of the companies have had to adjust their menus and rebranding. And I noticed that myself. I very seldom eat fast food, but I did the other week coming back from Dubai. And I was absolutely astonished that they actually had a lot of menus that actually were for the health conscious. So it had been a couple of years since I'd been inside this particular outlet. So I was pleased to have seen that. Okay, again, why have a plan? Your competitors will have one. Anybody who's in the same space as you, working in the same area, whether you're in a service industry or whether you're in a product. You could be in a service industry, you could be an accountant, you could be a lawyer, you could be consultant, business consultant. your majority of your competitors who are serious about their business will have one. And it's also very good if you're in retail. I know a lot of ladies here involved in retail, either online sales or they have outlets, or maybe they started off with online sales and now they're looking at setting up or taking space in a shopping mall or a retail outlet. Also, when you actually put together a strategic marketing plan, when you sit down and you work with your team, with your group, even if it's just with another person, it might just be somebody, it could be your partner, it could be your colleagues you work with. It gives you inspiration and new ideas on how to tackle problems, how to deal with problems. Maybe not problems, there might be challenges. Maybe somebody might come up with a fantastic idea to sell a product or service or to reach a new audience. It could be guerrilla marketing. Who knows what on earth can come out of it? They may know something about your audience that you haven't even thought about. They may have their finger on the pulse with economic data that you may not. Who knows? But it definitely gives you fantastic inspiration and ideas. And I will be sharing some of these slides with you, so you're not going to be missing out on this. But with a marketing strategy, you're well prepared for any future situation. I wonder if we go back to COVID of March 20 and 21. Let's say, well, maybe not 20, but let's say go back to 21. For those of us who prepared a marketing strategy facing COVID, facing uncertainty, when we looked at the future situation for the next 12 months and taking us into 22, a lot of us had to change our operations. We had to change the way we worked. We had to take into consideration our audiences and how they were working, how they were buying, what they needed to look at. Obviously, if you had a retail outlet that you managed to keep open, you had to look at health issues, you had to look at health and safety, you had to look at sanitization. So there was a lot of extra stuff that you had to consider, which would be a cost on the bottom line, and it would also be possibly a help when it comes to your marketing strategy, having that information. It also makes you look at situations, holiday periods, whether that is Ramadan timings, it's Eid, it's Christmas, it's various other holidays that are taking place, when times you're going to be very busy, perhaps during the summer. For some of us in business, it's not so busy, so we have to be able to either cut our costs during that time, or we have to make sure that those months when we can really be very, very busy, that we can take advantage of those situations. It also helps you look at hiring staff. Maybe there are times of the year you might want to be looking at part-time staff, not taking people on full-time. Maybe you want to launch certain campaigns to certain groups. So there's all kinds of stuff that it helps you look at. And also SWOT analysis, we all know what they are: the strengths, the weakness, the opportunities and threats. So it gives you an idea to look at your own strengths and weaknesses, and also by leveraging the internal and external factors and opportunities and threats, you can see your entire business situation in the round. So it helps you minimize the weaknesses, neutralize those threats, and it also shows you where you really need to be paying attention to your business over the coming months, year or two. Okay, an overview. A marketing plan will include the following components: your market situation, and you need to look at your economics. And you need to also, possibly for some of us, we also need to look at the political situation. Let's take yesterday, when it was announced that any business, small or large, making a profit, sorry, I don't know if it's a profit or a turnover, I believe it's profit, making a profit of over 375,000, I believe. I'm just taking this figure from memory, so if it's not right, put it in the chat and you can pull me up on it later and let us know. But let's say, for argument's sake, anybody making a profit over 375,000 now will be paying 9% corporation tax. Now, that's quite a big ticket to think about, because 375 doesn't sound like an awful lot, but it's not a lot if you're running a business. you really need to be making more than 375,000 if you possibly can, because running a business is expensive, renewing licenses and fees, etc., what have you. And also you want to grow your business. So as you grow your business, your profits hopefully is going to increase. The other thing we have to look at is money markets. Some of us are exporting our stuff overseas. Even if you're online and you're selling overseas, you got to look at what's happening in the world with the dollar, with the local currency, with the currency that you're going to be dealing in. This thing between Putin and Ukraine could well have a detrimental effect on if you're buying dollars at this moment in time. So this is the kind of thing. And also I know that we have a number of ladies who are from Eastern Europe who I'm sure are doing business with Ukraine. So you have to look at logistics, you have to look at transport, you have to look at, well, if anything is going to happen there, how am I going to get my goods in? Or if you have any goods being manufactured in any part of the world where there may be a little bit of a conflict or the threat of a conflict, you've got to preempt that situation and have some kind of a way of solving it, at least temporarily, if not sort of full time. So it also gives you a chance, as I said, to look at your customer profile and descriptions of changes affecting your customers, your competitors, your business climate, and your marketing goals and objectives. It also gives you a chance to look at your company's positioning and your brand statements. Now, your company's position is, where are you in relation to your competitors? If, say, are you creating the benchmark? Are you the benchmark? Are you looking at one or two of your competitors and saying, this is where I want to be? I'm sort of down here at the minute, but I want to be up there, say, within 2 years, maybe 3, if we possibly can. And that's what, again, you incorporate that in part of your strategy. All right. Competitive advantage. I'm going to show you a little bit of a slide here, which is really about cost, low cost, differentiation, cost focus, and differentiation focus. But basically what that means is the methodology designed to provide companies with a strategic plan to compete and gain an advantage within the marketplace. So when you look at your competitive advantage, are you selling a product or are you starting a business whereby your main competitive advantage is going to be about cost? Is your differentiation going to be about the extras that you provide? What's your focus going to be? Is it going to be about the people? Is it going to be about the level of service? Is it going to be about something that makes you completely different because you're unique compared to the rest of your competitors? You're going to be running your business and providing services and products in a completely different way. And this is something, again, that you have to take into consideration when you're putting a strategic plan in place. Okay, and this is the graph this is the example of the scope that you would be looking at. So you can see in the broad target, the first one is about cost and leadership. So it's cost and people and the executive management. And then the differentiation is in box number 2. Narrow target is when somebody is cost focused. That's very, very difficult. If you're going to be cost focused, that's a bit like, I suppose, if you want to pile something high and sell it cheap. You can do that for a certain amount of time for certain products, but you cannot sustain a business with one product just based on that. Okay, I mean, jump in here if anybody has got anything to say in the chats or if you've got a comment to make. Okay. Developing marketing goals and objectives. The reason you do that is that because this helps you increase opportunities. It's not going to increase sales. That's very, very different. But it will help you increase opportunities. It will help you build brand awareness, get your name out there, get people talking about you. What are you doing? How are you doing it? What's so different about you? Possibly, it could help you grow market share, but that depends on how you actually deliver it. And I mean, it won't necessarily grow your market share. There's a lot of other tangible stuff that you have to do, but it's something to certainly consider. I see we have some people waiting to be admitted here. It's coming up on my screen. If you're launching new products or services, absolutely, you must do it. Targeting new customers, without a shadow of a doubt, you have to do that. Entering new markets internationally or locally or regionally. When I say locally, I mean sort of in the region. I should really have said region. So let's say you're selling at the moment to Dubai. You may turn around and say, well, actually, I believe that Saudi is a growing market. Possibly Kuwait could be a market for my products and service. Maybe it's Bahrain. Maybe it's Oman. So this is something that you have to consider. It also helps you improve stakeholder relations. Now, you may say, what on earth is that? The larger companies will certainly have a number of stakeholder relations, but you may have them too. You may have outside investors. So you may have got some other people who've got skin in the game, as they say. So I'm just going to move myself over because I can't really see myself there. So you've got some skin in the game with or investors may have some skin in the game. So it improves your relationship with them because obviously you're going to be bringing them to the table and you're going to be discussing all of this as well. And then it will also enhance your customer relationships because you'll be delving very, very deep as to who you are, and what you stand for, and how you're going to be moving forward. Relationships between marketing strategy and the marketing mix. The strategy and the marketing mix are closely related when it comes to putting a marketing plan together. The strategy is about the direction. Where is the company going? It's your roadmap. It's your roadmap for the next year or two, maybe a little bit longer. And the marketing mix is the tactical side of how you're going to carry out the overall strategy. A lot of people get a little bit mixed up with that. They think that if we put together a marketing mix together, then we have our strategy. No, you don't. You can't just sort of decide, okay, well, how are we going to get our message out there without knowing what should the message be, who should the message be addressed to? And then you can decide afterwards, how are we going to get that message out there? Okay. I'm going to go over a couple of things here. Now, this isn't just on its own. I've got three slides to do with consumer marketing strategies because time has changed an awful lot and we've got some extra things added in there. But I'm putting this here just to give you an idea. Cause marketing is something, it's a term which a lot of you already know. Marketing campaigns, say, built around a social or a charitable cause. Some of you might sort of hook up with, as a CSR initiative possibly, with a particular charity. You may say, well, for this charity, we're going to lend our support or we're going to give sponsorship, etc., what have you. And so you can have your name on banners, what have you. Or maybe it might be a social engagement. But you're either doing it as a CSR initiative, or maybe you're doing it to help them raise money for their cause. And so you're there really to support them. So it's creating social value and generating profits. It could be a win-win for both, or it could be maybe generating profits for the cause that you've decided to champion. Then we've got direct selling, which, let's say if you're a retailer, this is used by top global brands and smaller companies as well, for business people to market their products and services direct to consumers. Co-branding and affinity marketing. This is really interesting because a lot of companies are actually beginning to do that. Now, one of the ones I found really interesting is that when I looked at, the James Bond series films, the co-branding and affinity marketing is absolutely enormous. And it wasn't until I started delving deep into it that I realized how big it is. But what is co-branding and marketing? It is when two companies, it could be more, but say two individuals or two businesses get together to either create a product together that works for both, Or it's when you have one business, say, let's say they're in the luxury market, and you have another product that's also in the luxury market, and they decided to get together to put together a strategy in order to raise the profile of what is actually happening. I'm just going to share another screen because I just want to show you a picture. I hope I have it. I haven't got it. I thought I must have shut it down. Okay, I looked up Bond co-branding to do the James Bond films. There was something like about 150 different sub-sectors. And it was everything from watches, pens, holidays, clothes, tourist destinations. It just went on and on and on and on and on. And majority of the big names that we all know of are all involved in it. And I was absolutely astounded. Obviously, I'm not into, you know, a lot of that stuff because it's geared very, very much at guys, you know. But it was absolutely amazing. And so I learned something myself when I actually went through it. And I thought, not only is the James Bond film absolutely worth millions as a film vehicle itself, but the branding that actually goes on, the co-branding and affinity marketing must be in the trillions. It's got to be. And it's very, very cleverly done. Okay, so earned PR marketing or earned media and PR. Well, this could be anything from organic methods via customers. It could be publicity generated outside of the business by influencers, other people who are talking about you. It could be media, journalists, etc., press coverage, reviews, blogs, whatever. It's just enormous that. That could just go on and on and on. Point of sale, point of purchase marketing is when you have got in-house vehicles. Let's say you go to the supermarket, Aswat, Carrefour, Spinneys, etc. And you know, we've all seen it, demonstrations of products. So you're walking down the aisle, there's a particular lady or gent there, they're demonstrating a product, and maybe they're demonstrating how to use something, or they've got a food and beverage there, etc. Well, that's your point of purchase. That's you sort of walking by, you may buy it, you may not, but once you see somebody demonstrating something, then it just sort of entices you a little bit more. Internet marketing, you know what that is. Paid media advertising, you know what that is. Word of mouth advertising, you know what that is. Now, here we go. Some more. Earned media PR, content, partner marketing, social media, search engine optimization. You all know what that is. And email marketing. Can I just ask in the chat, does anybody here use email marketing? Ashley, can you sort of let me know? Just say yes. Does anybody here use email marketing still? Or you know of somebody who still uses it?
Rita says she tried it today, and Atia say, I wish I did.
I actually think it's a very underused.
It doesn't work.
Sorry, Ashley?
Cardella says it doesn't work. Rita says MailChimp. Nada says yes, I know of many. Mr. Atik says I do. And AJ Mac says I don't anymore.
Okay, all right. I think if email marketing is used in the right way, I think it can be extremely worthwhile, but it's very much a personal thing. I mean, if you're going to send something out, you don't want anything generic. It really does need to have that personal flavor of you, especially if you're an SME owner. It's like you talking to them direct, so you're not talking in the third person. But I do believe that is actually very valuable. Look, I'm not going to go into all of this because this is there's something I want to show you, and this is fairly self-explanatory. Partner marketing, you know exactly what that is. You can get together maybe with somebody who has a product or a service that dovetails into what you do, and you may say, look, I've got this idea, how about we try this out together and see what happens. Social media, you all know about content, etc. Okay, something a little bit different. Referrals, you know about video. Video, I think, is extremely powerful, especially now, extremely powerful. And I don't think enough people use it, including myself. And I put myself in the frame in there as well. One of the things I certainly want to be doing myself in 2022 is doing a lot more video and producing content on video. I think if you've got the right content, providing you know your audiences, and there's going to be a group of audiences, because I know, say with me, I have groups of people that I can sell to. I can't just do one video and expect that to hit everybody. It's not going to happen. And for most of us in business, we have exactly the same thing. So this is why you go back to, you need to understand the people who buy from you. But one thing that I did come across recently as Metaverse. Anybody ever heard of Metaverse? Anyone in the chat rooms? Web3, Metaverse, NFTs? Yes? No? I'll be honest with you, I'd never ever heard of it until very, very recently. I heard about Facebook changing its name to Meta. I thought nothing of it. I thought, they're just, adding something to make something a little bit new to something old. Then I started looking into Metaverse itself, and a friend of mine, Susan, put me actually onto it earlier today, and I actually listened to a podcast that she did, a lady called Susan Finesse, with a group of people, and then I saw something online that sort of made it come together a little bit more. Metaverse. Okay, I can't explain. I don't have the words myself to explain what the heck this is. It's so far out there, but we need to know about it. Just because we don't know anything about it today doesn't mean to say that we shouldn't sort of at least learn what it's about, just in case. It might be something we need to put into the strategic plan. And here you go. You're going to have to read this because it's the word. The first paragraph is the word, a description I took off the internet. The last paragraph is me. I speak very clearly and simply. And obviously, people who have to decide or who have to share what Metaverse is, obviously do it a little bit different. But it's a network of 3D virtual worlds. That's exactly what it is. It's a virtual world. And it's future, it's science, it's technology, and it's the internet, and it's headsets all coming together. So you're in this virtual world via a headset. Now, whether you always, well, I take it you always have to wear it in order to enter it. But I can see how there is a use for this with people who are involved in certain products. I don't know how it's going to work for services. I'm sure it can. And I'm sure there are some fantastic people out there, enlightened minds, who will be telling us, because I have a feeling this is going to take off within the next 12 to 18 months for certain business sectors. And I think we need to understand what it's all about. I'm going to share with you just a very, very quick, if I can.
For product placement and advertising. As people spend more time in the metaverse, there's a huge for advertising, for billboards, for product placement. The second one is sponsorship of events and concerts. We have already seen this recently in Fortnite, which hosted huge performances by people like rap artist Trevor Scott. Massive Attack recently headlined a music festival hosted by Minecraft. And as more events and concerts are hosted in the metaverse, in the digital space, company will have a plethora of opportunities for potentially profitable sponsorships. Another huge opportunity, my third one, is digital only products. So we have the opportunity to develop and sell digital products in the digital world. So pretty much anything people have in the real world might be something they want to buy in the metaverse, from cool clothes to outfits to homes, cars, and basically anything you can imagine, and even things we can't even imagine right now. This also gives companies the possibility to try on things and try out things. So thinking about clothing, for example, if your digital avatar can try out your clothes and try them out in different settings, or even try them on, you now have the possibility to try on glasses like sunglasses and see what the shading actually looks like in virtual reality. When we talk about the impact for and opportunities for businesses, remote work is a big thing. So we will have increasing opportunities to move our work into the metaverse and create co-working spaces and meetings, even simulations and training. You can imagine, I mean, Facebook's Horizon Workrooms, for example, is an attempt to take on Zoom and give workers new ways to collaborate online in virtual reality. In the future, we might have events, conferences, trade shows in the virtual world as well. And this can all be done with your avatar. So you can imagine having meetings with co-workers as your avatar while you're sitting at home in your pajamas. Games is a huge opportunity too. The gaming industry is huge globally. It is worth over $180 billion, and games have long been the backbone of plans for the metaverse. And there are many cool VR games on the market right now, but we will see new ones coming along, and those also bring sponsorship opportunities. My sixth one is Metaverse services. Companies will be needed to help organizations move into the metaverse. This is a bit like what is happening with social media today, where we sometimes outsource this to other organizations who then run this. The same will happen for the metaverse presence. There will be companies that create digital twins, for example, for organizations. So I was recently talking to a sports client of mine, and they were thinking, how can we create a digital twin of our football stadium in the metaverse so people can digitally visit and watch our games there? And there would be huge opportunities for companies that can create those digital services. And then my seventh possibility is the metaverse hardware. So there's huge opportunities around developing new headsets and making them lighter, making them more like glasses. In the future, we will have contact lenses that will give us virtual and augmented reality. There will be haptic suits that give us more of a sense of feel and touch. And we're already seeing this with better augmented reality capabilities on our phones. So any device manufacturer has huge opportunities there. And then my eighth impact is improving our business operations. I touched on digital twins earlier. We can apply the same for our business operations, for example. So Anheuser-Busch InBrew, the world's largest brewer, is using metaverse applications to dramatically improve its operations. They used Azure digital twins to create a complete digital model of their breweries and supply chain that syncs up. And the model enables brewmasters to adjust the brewing process and conduct quality control. So there are so many opportunities. It's a bit like in the early stages of the internet or with social media.
Okay, I'm going to stop him now because you've got the gist. So yeah? Let me just stop there. So you've got the gist. I mean, it's a fascinating thing. I don't know what you all think about this metaverse, but it wasn't until I started sort of listening to one or two podcasts and actually looking at it a little bit more, and I went to YouTube and I thought, what the heck is it? Because I thought, oh, it's not for me. I'm not going to go around wearing a headset, this, that, and the other. And then when I started to look at it then really from a business and from a strategic marketing plan, a strategic marketing view, I thought, hang on, there's something here that we need to be on board with. because then I saw huge opportunities. And now how it's going to take off, I have no idea. As I said, I don't even have the words to describe it myself, but I have a feeling that this is going to be a bit like, do you remember when we had .com, that sort of came along in the 90s? And it was massive. Yes, we also had the bubble and it burst and all the rest of it. But it also gave rise to a lot of new stuff that came out of that. We learned a lot of lessons. We learned a lot of lessons. There was a lot of money given to new startups that was involved in information and technology, but they had no substance behind them. They just were given a lot of money. And of course, a lot of them went bust, because I don't think they understood the 4 Ps, and they didn't understand the foundations of strategic marketing that needed to be in place. And also, a lot of them had no business knowledge either. Many of us who are here, we have many years of being in business, and certainly, we've got skin in the game. It is our business. We've raised the money ourselves, etc., and sort of building a business. But I do think that it's worthwhile knowing about it, and if you get a chance. Later, tomorrow, I'll share with Cardella one of the podcasts that I listened to this morning, which Susan Furness, who's a member of RBG Group, she actually was the host, and the people she had were very, very interesting and amazing. So I'll share that with you tomorrow, and I will also share some of my slides as well, so you get a chance sort of to see this. Anyway, let me get back to finishing what I want to do. I am aware of time. I'm very much aware of time. So just tell me if right. Metaverse, we've gone into that. Okay, we have to get back to some of the boring stuff again now, because this is important when we talk about the 4 Ps. Do you remember the 4 Ps I mentioned before? And we have product, we have place, we also have promotion, and then we also have I'm missing one. Product, price. Okay, very, very quickly. I'm not going to read out all of this because it's fairly self-explanatory. But product, you need to understand your product inside out. What is my product? Who is my audience? And the questions that you need to ask yourself, because I have seen time and time again, a lot of SME owners that have a fantastic idea for business, they believe. They've done no market research, no feasibility study. They know nothing about their audience. They know nothing about their buying tendencies. They know nothing about disposable income. They haven't looked at the footfall. If they're going into a shopping mall or they're going to the high street or wherever it is, they know nothing about that. And then they wonder why a couple of years later, nothing's working, and they've lost a lot of money, and they've probably gone bust. So some of the questions you need to ask yourself that as marketers you need to answer, and as marketers, as a business owner, you are the marketeer. So what do customers want from your product or service? Is what I am offering, does it satisfy their need? Take a cafe. A lot of people believe that they can make money just by setting up a little cafe or a restaurant, and the people will come and everything will be wonderful. It's one of the toughest businesses to make any money in. It's one of the easiest for people to set up a business in. Hard to make money, hard to keep it sustainable, and hard to make a profit. You really need to understand what you are doing. So does it satisfy what people need? Do people need another cafe? Do they need a sushi restaurant here? Do they need this? Do they need a fish restaurant? Do we even need another restaurant here? Do we need another hotel? Do we need, where I am, do we need another person, say, who's offering my services? Sometimes you might go into a location where there's a group of you offering something very similar, and that can work. But what features of your product or service work to meet your customer's need? What value am I offering? What do I solve? If I'm solving a problem for my client, what is it that my product or service is solving? Have you missed out on any features? Is there something I should have here that my client wants? They need it. How and where will the customer use it? Not how I use it. How will my customer use it? How will the customer experience it? You need to put yourself in your customer's shoes, not in yours. Park your shoes to one side. You have a product or a service that you're selling to another person. You're not selling it to yourself. So you may love that fabric. You may love these swimsuits. You may love this beachwear for the family. But if there isn't a market for it right now at this moment in time, then you're hiding to nothing. All right? Product, price. What is the value of my product or service to the buyer? What is it I'm offering? Is it, I'm not talking about is it of value in monetary terms? Is it something that they are prepared maybe to pay a premium? Or perhaps maybe they're only going to, maybe their disposable income is a lot lower. We all know, obviously, during COVID, it was extremely difficult. Anybody who was in retail or who was in a shopping mall or whatever, not only did you have the problem with COVID, but then you have the problems with disposable income. A lot of people were not spending money. They were holding on to it. A number of companies or a number of people had lost jobs. It wasn't a time when people were changing jobs. A number of people returned back to their home countries. So the amount of people who were available to buy your product or service obviously decreased. And this is something that you have to look at. If you're a service-based organization, again, you have to ask the same question. How will you price compared to your competitors? Who else is in the same space as me, providing something similar, if not exactly the same? And what price are they pitching their product at? If somebody, let's say, I'm going to go and buy glasses, all right? I have a glass of water here. I want to go and buy half a dozen glasses, and you specialize in glassware. And if I find that I can get everyday glasses for 50% less, then why on earth should I buy yours? I want something that's going to be used by the family every single day, so that if it is chipped or broken, it's not going to cost an arm and a leg to replace it. If I want to buy crystal, that's a different kettle of fish. So you need to know. Are there any possible established price points for the product or service in this area? These are all things that you need to look at. Okay. Place. What does place mean? It actually means it's the location. Where are you going to be located? A lot of people often hedge for a shopping mall or a type of area that has sort of retail outlets already. They don't look at possible out of the way places. They don't look at places maybe that might be a little bit different. But where are your target customers shopping? Are they going to this area on a Friday and Saturday, but they go over here during the week? Are they buying online? Have they stopped going to the supermarket so much? I know a lot of people buy online. I personally still like to go to a retail outlet, pick up something, feel it, look at it, ask the in-house store operator something about it, particularly if it's electronic goods. I will not buy a computer, a mobile, or anything like that that I'm going to use every day online. I want to go at least and look at what it looks like in the shop. I want to feel it. I want to look at the size of it. I want to ask somebody in the store, what's the benefits of it? How does it compare to X, Y, and Z? That's beside it. But a lot of other people are quite happy to buy everything online. There's some stuff I will buy online. I recently bought a dishwasher online. That was fine. But then I had to go and find a third party then to connect it. If I had bought in a shop, I probably could have had them deliver and they would have connected it. But I actually bought it for less money because I was not going to have to pay them to connect it. So there you go. Where are they engaging? In social media. Where are they hanging out? Again, you need to know where you're going to find them and how you're going to reach them. And the final thing is promotion. How will you reach your target audience? And these are the various platforms that you can use. Where will you send your marketing messages to your target audience? How does your competition promote their product? Does that influence your own promotional activity? Sometimes we feel that we need to be following the crowd like sheep. I think you got to stop doing that. You got to start looking at, well, that's them, but this is me. I know I do certain things very differently. and I've had an interesting little promo going there for a while. And it says that I am a, say, sales trainer, okay? And instead of saying I am a sales trainer, it might say I am sales trainer. And the line I had actually was I am on its own, and then the next line was business mentor. And I put it up there because I wanted to see what would people do if they saw the grammatical error. Would they contact me? Would they send me a message? Would they just ignore it? Or would they get a little bit uppity about it? The amazing thing was I had all four things happen to me. Number of people did contact me by messenger. If, say, I posted it on Facebook groups, and they would send me a message, do you realize you made a mistake? I just want to point this out. And some were very nice about it. Others would say, I think you need to learn some grammar yourself before you start teaching anybody else as a business mentor. And then I had some people said, well done you've got my attention. So different ways of doing stuff. I wanted to try it and see what it was like. So I had people who were rude, people who were nice, people who said good pat in the back, and other people who just completely and utterly ignored it. All right. But I got people talking, and that was the main thing, interacting with me personally. All right. And then you need to understand then when is the best time to promote. And if you're going to be using on social media, it's certain times of days, certain days of the week. If you're going to be using some of the other marketing platforms, again, you need to understand this, okay? I'm just checking time. It's 9:40. I want to show you, let's just stop that. I want to show you another video, and I'll tell you why. I think it's actually been done very, very well. I like this. Now, let me just come back to where I am. Can you hear it?
It's working.
We're standing there looking at this space. It was so small, but you could see it. You can just imagine this experience that you could create inside.
And when we saw that little tavern, we knew that was the right spot for it.
Looking back years later, we never would have imagined that we'd be part of this bigger community of farmers, of customers, of employees. When this all began, the goal was simple: to connect with people through food. Sweetgreen was born when we were still students. The three of us really bonded over the fact that there was something missing in our daily lives. We had nowhere healthy to eat.
When we started Sweetgreen, nobody really believed that it would work. We really had no idea what we were doing. We wanted to create something healthy that was fun.
And wouldn't it be cool if there was a place that fit our values?
And we shared this passion for creating something, and we just decided to close our eyes and do it. We really focus on creating a farm-to-table experience and educating customers that their fruit's locally sourced.
In the early days, we started simply by just going straight to farmers markets and meeting farmers at their stands. Years later, some of those initial connections we made at the farmers market are some of our strongest partners. For us, we really believe in making an impact in the communities where we opened. The big thing we've done this past couple of years is a program called Sweetgreen in Schools, where we go into the public school system and educate 4th and 5th graders just on healthy eating. It's been a really exciting way to interact with the community, and we look forward to taking with us everywhere Sweetgreen goes.
It's a fruit bowl. This is delicious. Stay healthy.
When we opened our second store, not doing any business, bought a giant speaker, set up outside on the sidewalk, and something magical happened. It was no longer just a place to eat.
We did our first block party, and it was incredible.
The block party turned into a bigger block party, which turned into our first festival, which was maybe 500 people.
The next year, we found these incredible partners.
We had the opportunity to take a big gamble.
When you think about the Sweet Life Festival, it's really a party with a purpose.
Where we bring together 20,000 like-minded people to listen to amazing music while eating healthy food and giving back to a great cause.
We really see this as just the beginning. And as we grow, we can't wait to spread this idea of the sweet life and living well and bring this to new communities and build new partnerships.
We want people to think about eating healthy in a different way. It's easy, it's fun, it's approachable. We want to make sure that we create impact in the community, with the customers, and with the farmer.
What really excites us, it's not just the food, it's not just the music. It's to create experiences where passion and purpose come together.
Okay, I'm going to stop that one there and come back here again. The reason I showed that video is that because it has cause marketing in its plan, it has affiliate marketing in its plan, it has partnership marketing in its plan. It's got a lot of the things that I was talking about earlier. Now, I didn't use them all in one go. It obviously started off with a tiny little cafe. In fact, it wasn't even, I think that had a seat for two people. Everything else was just sort of takeaway. But over the years, as they've grown and evolved as time. I love that thing that they say at the end, which I often say is when you actually put passion into your business, then you create an experience where your passion and your purpose actually comes together. And that's that sweet spot when you're putting your strategic marketing plan together that you should be thinking about, passion and my purpose. What are they and how can I sort of put them together in my business? Because all of you and me, we are SME owners and we have our heart and soul in our businesses. We believe everything that we do. I know in my own heart how hard you all work. And basically that's as much as I can sort of do for you this evening, considering the time we have. It's now 9:45. So I'm going to stop there, and if anyone has any questions or whatever, please ask me. Or if you've got any comments, I mean, if you've got something you want to say about anything, let's hear it. But I think I'll stop there now and let's hear from everybody else. Thank you.
Georgina, it was absolutely amazing, and there were some comments also, especially when we were talking about the metaverse. I would like to, take the while and say that Atiya has underlined a movie which I also saw recently, which is Ready Player One. It is all about the metaverse, and if you can watch the movie, you will understand how there is a life within a life, and that is how the things going to change the entire things. And I was also recently in a training about metaverse and NFT. There also they said Ready Player One.
Okay, so Ready Player One, yeah?
Ready Player One. I myself couldn't find it on Netflix, but I am going to check. I watched it from a Turkish channel, but if I can find it in English, I'm going to definitely share it in the group. Okay.
Okay.
So
Please, that'd be great.
And thank you so much for that, because Metaverse and NFT is something that we all need to be ready about, because just like 2015 when the Bitcoin came up, and at that time nobody was very much interested, but now those brave ones become the billionaires, and we understood that.
Exactly, this is it. I mean, this could be our opportunity as SME owners to look at this with a different sort of angle and think, ooh, is there something there for me and how can I use this?
Yes, and what they say now is the marketing with it will become because now every company is using social media influencers. So now they are going to create characters that because now the people, they think themselves. So everybody is happy. It's real people, but fake characters. So they are going to create total.
It's interesting. It's interesting that you say that, because I've been thinking for a little while myself over the last year. I think a lot of so-called influencers have had their day. I think a lot of people realize now that there's no substance behind them. you know. Oh, they can look pretty, be a handsome fella, be a gorgeous looking girl. But for a lot of serious businesses, you don't really go to that kind of an influencer, you know. So I think people are going to be a lot more wary as to who they will use as influencers in their business, and they would be looking at that. So it's interesting what you say. I'd like to hear from Atik, and I'd like to hear from Jay. What's your take on it? Are you boys at home, or have you gone?
I think Mr. Atik's microphone may be a problem because
okay, all right, okay. Well, does anybody else? I mean, does anybody else? Nada, do you have anything, or Lila?
Yes, Georgina, it's a lovely session. Thank you so much. And I agree with this changes in COVID and the way that we do things. So many things have changed, and the kind of agility that we need to have to, I always say we need to have alternatives, you know, when we switch from, for example, coaching, training, for us, public speaking, everything went online. So how are we comfortable with this? How we need to do a lot of research about the right engagement models on the online world. Definitely, as we're doing right now, virtual talks, you know, so we have to be a lot of creativity. I know a lot of collaborative platforms that I've been using in my at work that have created a huge difference. So this kind of tools, engagement tools, it's a lot of
and
a lot of work.
Exactly. And it's like the different ways we were talking about co-branding.
Yes, I like
is another
this.
thing. I think an awful lot of women in IWES have no idea about that. And I'm sure if they could get together even online in a mass webinar kind of thing and find out what different people do. So you could have one person who's struggling, another person who's also struggling, but when they get together and they can actually create
it's a great idea.
some fantastic ideas with co-branding and co-affiliate marketing, you know.
Yes.
And then again, I'm sure that there's an awful lot of charities and causes out there that I think we can hook up with as well. We can give support, but it gives people a leg up too to get their name out there and promote it to a wider audience.
You know, Georgina, most of us, because we are so passionate about community giving, we need to look into social entrepreneurship, because social entrepreneurship is another term that is booming right now, is how to do your passion and cause for the community and establish like the right platform with memberships and so on. So definitely one of the things that is booming, and we need to look into it as well. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay.
I have a question, Georgina. Thank you very much for your talk. Very, very interesting. Because personally, I never really think about marketing because I don't like it. But it's always good to learn. My question is, when you talked about email marketing, is it something already like, you know, past, or because I felt this the sense that it's kind of something that we don't do anymore, because who else is still doing email marketing?
I think it depends on your business. I mean, I'm always amazed. Take the beauty industry, spas and salons, both for men and women.
Mm-hmm.
They have us as a captive audience, and most of the time they don't realize it. They don't really use the information that they're being given. If they were to have some kind of a system when you went into it as a male salon or a female salon, and so they took your name, address, your mobile number, and an email, and if they say, obviously you have to give them the permission, but if they got your wedding anniversary or perhaps your birthday, they can tell by your date of birth when your birthday is. And then when your birthday and your anniversary or whatever comes around, they can sort of email you sort of promotion or a freebie or whatever it is. When they have certain promotions that's going out, they can email those promotions. And can you imagine, I understand even a small beauty salon that just does manicure, pedicure, and simple massage could well have 2,500 people on its database. It won't see those 2,500 people every single month, but it has them on its database. That's the average number. Could you imagine if you were doing an email promotional campaign, or just keeping people, you know, keeping people sort of in touch with you about what's happening? That's quite a powerful thing to do, and you could do that using Chipmunk and various other bits and bobs, you know. But I personally think that there's still a place for email. It depends on the business. Think of fast food as well. If say a restaurant, maybe not say something like fast food, but let's say if you're a regular at a restaurant, you have to capture their mobile number, so you can do that on your WhatsApp. But if you also had an email address as well, then again, when you've got certain promotions, certain things happening, or you notice that, you know, they're ordering X amount per month, so maybe you might say once a month I might give them free drinks for the family next time they order. There's an awful lot of things that you can do. Service industry, your lawyers, maybe you're in the educational side, maybe you're in the legal side, maybe you're in the consultancy side. Once you capture all that information by email, I'm not talking about spam, I'm talking about when you've got something specific to say that may be of interest to them. You don't just send to everybody, because as I said, it's like doing video content for your clients, your audiences. You don't send the same thing out to everybody, because not everybody is interested. But you can do certain selected promotional things to a certain selected group of your database. And that's why I do believe that email still has a place. But it depends how it's done.
Can you say a few more words about that, how it's done?
Well, okay, in what way?
Well, why wouldn't it work? Let's say, what kind of emails would not work?
Okay, if it's too wordy, if there's too many words, it may look like spam, or it'll look boring. It won't look interesting. So you have to have image in it. I mean, to be honest with you, I spend on emails that are promotional emails, I give people about 40 seconds of my time. So I'm sort of looking at the whole email, the picture, the visual side. I'm reading the first couple of paragraphs. It depends how it starts, it depends how it looks, but if it looks right, I will carry on. And I have found maybe a product because of it, maybe I found out something about an exhibition because of it, or I found out an event because of it, because somebody has got me on the database. But it depends how you design it, in effect. It depends on the message, how the message looks, how you start, and also how it looks visually as well. It has to be appealing.
Can I talk for a minute?
Yes, by all means.
Yes. I was actually answering Nusha's question that she was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I'm into products. I'm into skincare products. I'm a skincare formulator, and I have my products. So I started doing these. I've just started doing the email marketing, and what I do is I give them like an incentive, or like if they have their birthdays, they get discounts.
Yeah.
So that really, that way it really helps. Like they have an incentive as well, and they won't get bored with the emails. And also you can put in your stories a little bit here and there.
Yeah,
and
you have to make it a bit more personal.
Yes. Like basically you're actually having a relationship, like a relation with them, like a connection.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
I feel it because I get all these emails from Sephora and everywhere. The moment I see, there's the SEO, and they immediately tell me, you have this in your cart and you have to buy it. Sometimes you go to a site.
No, that doesn't work. No, it doesn't work. But if somebody's actually saying, dear Miss, whatever your name is, all right? Thank you for coming into our salon, blah, blah, blah. We have your details on file. And we just wanted to let you know that we have a special discount, and we'd like to give you the opportunity to use the discount. Or as you said, because maybe it's your birthday coming up. Look, in addition to this particular product, we're offering you a freebie. And if you would like to come to the salon for your birthday or before your birthday, we would be delighted to do X, Y, and Z with you. You know, you need to make it that little bit more personal. Or maybe it's somebody you've already worked with. Let's say you're a service-based organization, and say, you know, you and I, we worked with each other 18 months ago, 2 years ago, whatever it was, and I'm going through my database, and I thought it'd be lovely to get in touch with you again. And I've got a special offer for X, Y, and Z. And I just wanted to let you know, and it would be lovely to sort of touch base and see you again.
Great, yeah, that's nice. Yes, thank you so much.
You know? Right as you speak.
There is one company in Turkey. I find them very, very, very successful on that, because they create a need. Means every time they send me an email, I don't know what kind of system they got, but they know key points. Like they say, Aslı, Nush's birthday is coming. Did you buy her a gift? And then you say, oh,
yes.
You know,
oh, that's very clever. That's very clever.
Thank you, because then you get panic. You say, oh, I was about to forget, and you already feel guilty, and you say, okay, wait a minute, I need to, and then, oh, these guys are here. So I think that, like you have just mentioned, to know your strengths and weaknesses, problems to challenges. So these guys, they know your need, and they come with the solution. So they say, okay, this girl, she sent a gift to this person this year, definitely she will again send something. So this is very nice. Maybe it's an easy system, but instead of giving the discount, because when they give a discount, we say, if you're not in the mood, you can resist it.
Yeah.
But they already put me in a situation that I am restless and need. I have to buy something for her. Okay.
Yeah.
That is something I like.
Good evening.
Hello. Good evening.
My mic is fixed now. I can say a few words if you like to.
Okay. Yes, by all means, Atiq. Hello.
You asked me a question about this meta stuff, right?
Metaverse, yes.
Yeah, I honestly, I like the frankness, the way you have explained it, that you don't know much about it, but then it's coming up. Similarly, somebody did mention about it, but then it was not my interest. So now today I got something which I saw and I heard. Now it created a curiosity, so I'll definitely look into it and then see what it is. And okay, I'll tell you, with me, I am a person who doesn't sort of adopt to technology very soon or immediately. I do take my time to understand. Honestly, I'm still not doing Facebook Lives or LinkedIn Lives because I'm not comfortable with that. But then, okay, doing video is something different. So having said that, it's something, if it is, let's say, the new technology, definitely people would have to adopt. Eventually, people will have to switch to it. So that's one thing about. Regarding the promotional stuff for the salons, there are many things you can do by just asking husbands how to keep their wives away from the house. So they're very creative about it. They'll tell you 100 ways and 100 reasons for them to move out of the house.
Exactly.
But yeah.
There's one thing just about guys and salons that amazes me. I often think salons miss a trick. They don't get to know the men in the world, because it would be very nice if guys were looking for a gift for their lady. There's nothing nicer than sending your lady off to be pampered for an hour or two. Get away from the children, get out of the house, some time for herself. And the salons need to speak to the men in the world as well.
And I can give you one example where there is one saloon which has this coffee shop, actually. I think probably it's just next to them or within their reception, where they have this sitting area. They are asking her to invite with a family friend or husbands for them to come and relax and have coffee while you are getting attended.
Good idea.
Yeah, things like that. There are many ideas which you can adopt. And there was another thing which I heard some time back. It's like friends and family week, that you bring in a member of your family or friend and you get some service complimentary by bringing in somebody else.
Why not?
of your circle. So you get
Why
benefit
not?
by just bringing somebody in, and they pay for their services. So it's like you get something complimentary. So I mean, everybody would want to have things complimentary. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you, Georgina. This is wonderful session. I'm really loving it.
Thank you, Atik. I appreciate it. Thank you. Honored.
Pleasure. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's the time? It's after 10. Are you tired, ladies?
A great session, Georgina. Thank you so much.
Welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Well, I think we should. Well, I'm done now. If you guys want to talk, that's up to you. Yeah. And look, I will share the slides with Cardella, and then she can post something. And I think, in fact, there is a recording. Maybe Cardella may share that.
Yeah, I will share that.
Yeah. Okay.
It will be in YouTube. Maybe after tomorrow, I'll put it in YouTube.
Okay. Fantastic.
And
yeah.
I'll
And then
share
I can.
them.
And then I can see all the mistakes I've made. Look,
oh, you were really amazing. You were amazing.
Yeah,
you didn't make any mistakes.
Thank you.
Do you know what? I'm like a swan. She glides on the surface, and she's doing this underneath.
Oh, Georgina, by the way, my brand is called Purple Swan.
What's it called?
Purple Swan.
Oh, lovely.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, we need to do like a webinar about people's businesses. Maybe if we can't get together or whatever, and just sort of chatting about businesses, doing maybe some introductions, getting people together. Who knows?
That's a good idea, Georgina. Maybe we should do that. It's kind of like a networking in Zoom.
Yeah.
And then everyone can just say, okay, this is my business, or we know each other's business. And
exactly.
Maybe we can patronize each other.
I think we should have one of them a month.
Yeah, I guess so. Every month, I guess, because there will be like new member or new people that is acquainted to us. And then maybe it will be a great idea to
exactly. And yeah, because some people can't always get to an actual get together for whatever reason. So yeah, I would love if you did that. That'd be fabulous.
So in the future, you are going to make a metaverse, first metaverse.
Well, do you know, I can see huge possibilities there. But even as anybody who is an investor, anybody who's looking to invest some money, I think you need to be very, very careful how you do it, because I think you could lose your shirt as well. But I have a feeling that I think some people are going to make a lot of money out of that.